hockey fans, welcome back in to the neutral zone here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. This might be the greatest 2 weeks of hockey that we have ever witnessed in North America. This has been amazing stuff, this Four Nations tournament. We are going to break it all down. We are going to discuss the round robin event. And you better believe that we are going to be previewing the championship just 48 hours away from USA versus Canada, the latest edition. So much to go over for that. Injury update on the Chuck brothers and on Charlie McAvoy. Will there be any changes to the U.S. roster between now and then? And of course, what we think might happen in the Four Nations tournament Thursday night. We'll also get back up for the restart of the NHL season on Saturday. And we got some college hockey to look into as well. Lots to get to on the show here tonight. Pull it on up. Don't get kicked too hard into the board. Here we go. Welcome on into the show. This is the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I am Adam Karnick. Zach Puplis will be along with us here in just a couple of moments as the Michigan State-Purdue basketball game is wrapping up. Zach is a very, very proud Michigan State alum, as regular viewers of the show will know. So he's going to be in a really good mood, but I know that he's just wrapping up with that, so he will be along with us here in just a couple of moments. Lots to get to on the show here tonight. We're going to be talking a lot of the Four Nations tournament. This has been some outstanding hockey. Lots to get into with it. Lots to discuss that went on in the round robin. And then also we've got USA versus Canada again. This is going to be a ton of fun on Thursday night. It's not going to be all Four Nations, though. We do have the NHL season to get set back up for and get restarted here on Saturday. So we'll get into that. And we'll also dip our toes into the college realm as well tonight. Plus, we do actually have some hockey on tap going on live tonight. So we'll get you caught up on that as well. Lots to get through on tonight's program. But first, a quick word from our sponsors. This is the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back after this. IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back into the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam Karnick back with you. Zach Pupples will be along with us in just a moment. He was here, then he's having a little bit of connection problems. So he's going to try to get reconnected, and then we'll get him in here with us as well. So you heard from all of our sponsors there, and we thank each and every one of them: Planet Jerky, Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, Vital Apparel, Seal the Deal Wax Seals, and also Get Raw Nutrition Supplements. Go to getrawnutrition.com. Use the promo code IESR at checkout to get 10% off of your order. So we thank each and every one of those sponsors for their support of this show and the entire station. You heard how to follow along with IE Sports Radio on all the social media platforms, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, just search IE Sports Radio and be sure to subscribe, like, follow everywhere with the channel. You can also follow along. This show is available for you on Twitter as well. We are at IESR Neutral Zone. You can follow along with each one of us personally on there as well. I am at Adam_Karnick. Zach is at the Pupless. And I'm going to leave this banner for those of you who are watching the show live tonight, either on Twitter or on YouTube. I'm going to just leave this banner going across along the bottom. But for those of you who are listening to the show later on as a podcast, whether it's Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast, this show is available for you as well. I want to make you aware of the Supporters Club. The Supporters Club is a new thing that we are doing here at every single show on IE Sports Radio. It's a way to show your support for this show, in particular for the Neutral Zone. For $5 a month, you then show your support for this show, and Zach and I will be doing some different things just exclusively for members of the Supporters Club. It's just a simple way that you can say, hey, thank you guys for doing this show. Appreciate what you're doing. We appreciate you coming and listening. But if there's ever a way that you were thinking, hey, is there something I can do to show these guys some love? There absolutely is. You go to the link that I have below, or for those of you listening later on as a podcast, Spreaker.com/podcast, the Neutral Zone -support. And then you can become a member of the Supporters Club. It's $5 a month. And then as a way for us to say thank you, Zach and I will be coming up with some exclusive content then just for our Supporters Club members. So we'll have that going on for you as well. I want to say hello to everybody in the chat room here tonight, having some fun. Larry B is having a ton of fun in the chat room. He is chanting USA, USA over and over and over. Hello, Taryn Rodriguez. Good evening. Thank you. Yes, I'm still getting over a little bit of a flu bug. So my kids both had it, and I thought I had managed to avoid it. Unfortunately, I didn't. So I'm feeling a heck of a lot better today, though. I took a 3-hour nap this afternoon. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. That helped so much. So I am still coughing a little bit though. So I apologize in advance if I don't mute the microphone quite fast enough for that. Good evening as well to Marcus Los Great. Good evening, sir. And also to Ralph Calise. Hello to everybody hanging out in the chat room. And if you are listening live, just drop on a note into the chat and you can interact and have some fun that way. And he is reconnected and back with us. Zach Pupless, how are you doing, sir? Let me see if I can get him. Whoop. Let me see. There we go. Zach, how are you doing, sir?
Hey, Adam. I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right. I'm getting over a little bit of this flu thing, but I have had it a heck of a lot. Perfect timing. I've had it a lot more mild than most people have. I've been very fortunate in that regard. I've had it a lot more mild than most people
That's
have.
good.
So yeah, I may be needing to stop a little bit more often than normal. But we've got some hockey to dive into and discuss. And there actually are some scores tonight. We do, even though the NHL is off for the Four Nations tournament, which we are going to be getting into in just a moment, we actually do have we have 2 games in action tonight. One is in the PWHL and one is in the college ranks. So we can really quickly, we can do a little bit of our usual, how we normally open the show with tonight's scores. Over in the PWHL, one game is going live tonight. The Minnesota Frost are at the Montreal Victory. And with 8:47 left to go in regulation, Minnesota is up 2-0. And the scores at this point, a goal in the first and a goal in the second. And I'm working on I enjoy. There you go. There we go. The PWHL does a great job of giving you everything. Sometimes, though, that can be a little hard because I don't want everything at this moment. I just want the goals. Liz Sheppers got her first goal of the season in the first, and then Kendall Coyne Schofield got her 8th of the season in the second period. So those are the 2 goals to this point in the PWHL. So that's the one game going on.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. I'm on their site right now, but yeah, they give you everything, but it's like it's hard to try to sift through it. Oh, there's the goal. I see it.
Yep. Yeah. It's great that they give you the full play-by-play breakdown right out of the gate, which is great, which is awesome. The other sites will do that too, but they put it a little further down. And then there is a game on the calendar in D1 in men's ice hockey, Sacred Heart and American International, but I have not been able to actually get the score on that. So we'll see.
It looks like it was at 7 tonight. The NCAA.
Oh, Zach's cutting in and out here on us tonight. We'll see if we get Zach back here.
Oh, can you hear me?
Now we can. Yep, you're back.
It looked like it was at 7 p.m. tonight, but the NCAA website, that's all I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, that's all I have on their website. So I'll do some digging during the breaks and see if we can actually get a score. We'll see if Twitter can give us any kind of help on that, on the score on there. So we do actually have some games in action tonight, but let's face it, that's not why you're here for this show tonight. We are here because of the Four Nations tournament. This has been amazing to this point. This has been, normally this would be the NHL All-Star break. Normally this would be, okay, we're going to take roughly a week off. We're going to, over a long weekend, we're going to have a skills competition. We're going to have some complicated, convoluted contest of some kind where Patrick Kane's putting on a Superman cape and Alexander Ovechkin is doing Alexander Ovechkin things, and they're going to have a weird 20-minute game between each division, and try to figure out the best division in hockey or whatever. This is 10 million times better than any all-star festivities they could have possibly come up with. What have been some of your takeaways from this tournament so far?
Oh, just the fact that U.S. and Canada are gonna play again. Whether it seems like they're always facing off, whether it's the Olympics or World Juniors or now this, and now they're gonna have a sequel. They're gonna play again. Plus, I heard there was a really good fight.
Oh, fight! Which one? You had 3 in 10 seconds there on Saturday night.
Went to a fight and a hockey game broke out, eh?
Oh, exactly. Oh my goodness. So I have to, full disclosure, Saturday night, my wife and I actually we went to a concert. Long version short, it was Rascal Flatts, a group that my wife has been wanting to see for years and years and years and years. And we had the opportunity, we took it. And I knew that, okay, well, US and Canada is going to be going on at the same time. There's just no way. Be husband, be in the moment, enjoy the concert. Don't worry about it. As soon as it was over, though, we got back to our hotel, and I go back onto Twitter. I check ESPN. I go into our, the IE Sports Radio group chat, and everything is just blowing up. Oh, this is the most amazing thing. This is the greatest hockey game ever. This is the greatest, this, that, and the other thing. And it's just like, guys, Give me a recap. Give me a rundown here. I need to know. I'll do my homework. I'll do all my stuff to get caught up, but give me the recap. And that was the first thing everybody said was, well, there were 3 fights in the first 9 seconds of the game.
Oh my God.
That was, and it's everything that it feels to me right now. And even the non-US Canada games, the round robin, obviously you've got everybody plays each other at least once in the round robin. So it's, it's not just the US Canada game. All the games have been good. They've all been compelling. They've all been entertaining. Sweden, Finland the other day was an outstanding game. The game yesterday between Canada and Finland with a berth in the championship game on the line yesterday afternoon. That was some terrific hockey. Canada got off to a very early lead, but Finland didn't go away. 3 unanswered goals by Finland to make that, a game in the end. It went from 4-0 to 4-3 very quickly. Ooh. And, Canada very nearly didn't make it to the championship game. Yes, they got it. Yes, they got the empty netter to seal the deal, but that was the seal the deal play of the day was the empty net goal yesterday by Canada. Brought to you by Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Shameless plug here. Go to iesportsradio.com/Seal the Deal Wax Seals. We'll just put a bow on all that, but it very nearly wasn't. It very nearly was not this rematch that we're all going to be looking forward to. We could have very easily wound up with that game going to extra time, which meant that the final game of the round robin, Sweden USA, could have had a ton of stakes. Had Canada Finland wound up going to overtime, Sweden could have still made it to the championship. Yes, the US team had nothing to lose and played like it knew it had nothing to play for in that game, but it very nearly meant something to Sweden. That was why it was so compelling to just keep watching during all of it. This has been some fantastic hockey so far.
Yeah, they definitely would have been scoreboard watching. That's for sure.
Oh, scoreboard. And if you're Team USA, and you get to pick basically, then it's, do we want to play Sweden or do we want to play either Canada or Finland? And that we can decide, you can basically decide for yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we could just, sit this one back, let Sweden win in regulation, and sorry, Canada, you missed out. Too bad you had to go to over. Too bad you couldn't hold that 4-goal lead and needed overtime to finish off Finland. Darn, that was on the table. That was on the table there for a few moments there yesterday afternoon. So this tournament has been outstanding. It's been awesome. It's been fantastic for the sport. I know next year's an Olympic year, so obviously they won't be doing it next year because they'll be in the middle of the Olympic break this time next year. And then we've got I believe they're talking about doing another World Cup of hockey here in a couple of years, but man, I hope they keep this tournament. I hope this becomes a regular staple. I hope this is not just a one and done, or we'll pull it out, once every decade or so. I hope this becomes a regular mainstay. This has been fantastic theater for the sport the last week and this week. This has been terrific.
Oh, 100%. Refresh my memory. Is this the first year of it, or have they done it years past?
Yeah, they've done things like the World Cup of hockey and things like that before, but this is I do believe this is the first year for this specific tournament. This is the inaugural year for this tournament.
Got it. Okay.
All right, so
Yeah,
so
it's
let's
epic.
so let's dive into that championship game on Thursday. It's the rematch that we were all hoping for after things got done Saturday night. It is going to be USA and Canada round 2, this time in Boston. What are your thoughts going into this one, Zach?
Wow. Okay, so yeah, first game was 3-1. My guess is that it's probably gonna be just as close, just as intense as the previous one. hey, I'm hoping for more fights. How about that?
Yeah, I along those lines, I actually would be a little surprised if we see more fighting, and here's why. The fights that we get, those 3 fights that we got bang, bang, bang right out of the gate Saturday night, that was more based on what the Canadian crowd was doing, not necessarily based on what the Canadian team was doing. I think at this point they've cleared the air at that point. That was they had said beforehand that, we don't mind that they're booing the anthem. We understand what it is, what it is. We'll just tune it out. Bullcrap. They absolutely were using that as fuel and were motivated by the Star Spangled Banner being booed in Montreal, and that led to the Kachuk brothers and then JT Miller all dropping the gloves to start the game. But that wasn't anything the Canadian team was doing. So I don't know that we'll necessarily see more fights going on in this one, unless, who knows, now maybe the crowd in Boston on Thursday night will boo during O Canada, and maybe that'll spark some retaliation there. Who knows? Oh, I think we've lost. Zach's going to try and reconnect here. Are you back, Zach?
Hi. Yes.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, you got a rough connection tonight. That's okay. So yeah, unless the crowd in Boston starts booing during O Canada, I don't know that we're necessarily going to see any more fighting going on.
Right. Well, here, I just spotted this one tonight on ESPN. The general manager of the U.S. team in the Four Nations Face-Off tournament said he'd welcome a visit from Donald Trump to the championship game between the United States and Canada on Thursday night. Bill Guerin, who played 18 years in the NHL for 8 different teams, said on Fox News that Trump's presence would give a boost to the rivalry between the North American hockey powers. He credited Trump's tariff threats and talk of making Canada the 51st U.S. state with ratcheting up the intensity in their fight-filled matchup in the preliminary round.
Yeah. Yes. Yes to all of that,
Right.
Yeah, if you want to turn the temperature up. Oh yeah. Put Trudeau in one box and then put Trump in the other box, and
right.
away we go.
Right. We would love it if President Trump was in attendance, Guerin said in the interview broadcast Monday. We have a room full of proud American players and coaches and staff. Listen, we're just trying to represent our country the best way we can. The tournament marks the return of the top hockey stars to international play after they sat out the past 2 Olympics. Quality of play, intensity of emotions, and geopolitical backdrop have drawn comparisons to the Americans' Miracle on Ice victory over the Soviet Union in the 1980 Placid Olympics in terms of the 3-1 win a couple days ago. Quote, I think
far.
There was a little bit of,
That's too far. My opinion. That's way too far.
Yeah, true. Quote, I think there's a little bit of political flair to it. It's just the time that we're in. Guerin said, if you let it get the better of you, then you're in trouble. But I do think the players used it as an inspiration.
Oh, No doubt about it. They have admitted as much that they used it as inspiration. Let's talk about the game itself for a second. So we know, all the background, all those kinds of things. Let's talk about the game itself for a moment. Now, the Kachuk brothers, Brady had a little bit of an injury. It sounds like he's going to be back. He's going to be playing. But Charlie McAvoy, another key, huge contributor to Team USA, he's going to be out. The Boston Bruins defenseman was diagnosed with an infection, and he's actually been hospitalized. The infection is considered, it's considered not real world serious. He's not in any kind of danger in that regard, but he's probably going to miss a couple weeks of hockey. So he's absolutely going to miss the championship game Thursday, and he's probably going to miss the next few Bruins games once the season turns back over on Saturday. The Bruins are supposed to be in Vegas Saturday night to take on the Golden Knights. He's probably going to miss that game. He's probably going to miss a few games for the Bruins. The U.S. may wind up being a player down for the championship. There was talk of bringing in, is it James Quinn from the Vancouver Canucks before the game, and he has said he will do it, but only if he's guaranteed to play. And there's not Quinn Hughes. He said he's willing to do it, but only if he knows that he's going to play. He doesn't want to fly out to Boston just to be a healthy scratch on Thursday night, which makes sense. You don't want to fly from Vancouver to Boston, or excuse me, it's Vancouver that plays in Vegas on Saturday. So you don't want to fly from Vancouver to Boston to Vegas in the span of just a couple of days, when you're supposed to be recovering from an injury on your own. He was a member of the Team USA originally, and then he backed out because of an injury. So they might go with him. They might have to they might just wind up having to play a man down in this one. And that could be a problem. Cale Makar, who missed the game for Canada on Saturday, he will be back for this game for Canada. So just because the U.S. won 3-1 on Saturday night and everything was charged and fueled up, and I've got a great quote actually right here from Sam Bennett from Team USA. Quote, "I think the messages were sent in that last game. This game, it's all about winning." So,
well, you said that the comparison to the 1980 Miracle on Ice is probably too far, but
yes,
Jack Eichel likens it to the feel of a Stanley Cup final game. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't mind that at all.
Okay.
I don't, that's one thing in hockey, and we've seen this time and again from the players. They love representing their country. They want to put on that sweater that has their nation's emblem and their nation's name on the sweater. They love to, they've fought for years to be included in the Olympic conversation. Let's be honest, the NHL would prefer to not send its players to the Olympics because it means they have to shut down for 2 weeks. It means they risk those guys getting injured while loaning them out to another team. It means lengthening your own season into, we saw it last year. The Stanley Cup final, it was damn near July. It was damn near July before it ended. Right. And you're talking about having to extend the regular season out 2 weeks for the Olympics every 4 years. I get why the NHL doesn't like to do it, but the players have just made it so adamant that this is so important. So a tournament like this, I think that's part of why you're seeing such intensity from this. This is something that the guys love to do. That's, I get to put in that Team USA sweater. You're damn right. I'm putting it on the line for this game. I don't care that this isn't my NHL team. This isn't necessarily how I earn my living. It's not with this team, but this is really what I care the most about from the players' perspective. So sure. Yeah, to compare it to a Stanley Cup final game. Yeah, in fact, I'd probably put it on a notch higher than that. Probably. So yeah, that's a great compare. Yeah, Miracle on Ice. That's too far. That's too far to compare it to Miracle on Ice. That's way for a whole lot of reasons that I'm seeing how much time we've spent on this already. Too many reasons to go into. To me, that's going too far.
Yeah, it's not the Cold War. It's not a microcosm of the Cold War. Get over it.
Correct. This isn't a ragtag bunch of teenagers that weren't even supposed to win a single game and somehow beat the greatest team, the greatest national team possibly ever.
Yeah.
Team Canada's really good. Team USA is really good. That right there makes the Miracle on Ice comparison completely out the door.
Yeah. Because that was David Goliath, basically.
Right. If it were Finland versus US, if this was Finland in the national title game, in the Four Nations title game, maybe, except Team USA would then be in the role of Russia,
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't quite stack up. Doesn't quite hold up there. But should be a great one on Thursday. We'll give you our final predictions for that game, but we're going to actually do that to close the show. Let's take ourselves a quick break, and then when we come back, do we want to talk some NHL or do we want to talk some NCAA?
Ooh. Let's do some NCAA.
Good idea. We'll talk some college hockey on back from a break. This is the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio with Adam and Zach. We will be right back after this. Do not go anywhere.
What's up, guys? If you're looking for the best coverage of all Northern California sports, including 49ers, Giants, Warriors, then check out the NorCal Sports Report with yours truly, Andre Fernandez, every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We have guests every single week talking 49ers, Giants, Warriors, Sharks, San Jose Earthquakes, and a whole lot more, plus 3C2A. You do not want to miss this show. So tune in Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific Time to the NorCal Sports Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Are you a fan of Minnesota sports? Do you love the Vikings and hate the Packers? Are you a fan of the Timberwolves, Twins, Wild, Lynx, St. Paul Saints? Here on the Bold North Breakdown, we'll talk about all of those professional teams as well as all the college teams in the area. That's your basketball teams, football, hockey, volleyball, men's and women's sports alike. We talk about them all. You're on the Bold North Breakdown. Join me, your host, Glenn Ritter, every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central to discuss all that is happening in the Minnesota sports scene. here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio. Adam and Zach back with you here. So obviously we were talking all about the Four Nations tournament to start off the show. Going to change things up a little bit, and we're going to dive down into the college ranks for a moment. And while Zach, I know you're going to get us kind of caught up on the bubble and who's looking like they might be in for the Frozen Four tournament coming up. I'm going to let you do that, and I'm going to try to get us that score for the Sacred Heart American International game.
I got you.
I will be. Oh, you got it? Oh, look
it.
at you! Look at you diving into stuff.
I left up the page and it updated automatically.
Outstanding.
Oh, it was a close one. Sacred Heart beats American International 3-2.
Ooh,
Yeah.
A good game.
It's letting me click on it. Let me see if I got any other. Oh, here we go. Box score. Okay, so let's see here. Sacred Heart. Let's see if I can read this right. Goals. We got a goal from John Jaworski. He's one of the centers. He got an assist as well. Let's see here. Who else? They got a goal from Felix Trudeau, who also had an assist. He's a left winger. And Charles Tardif, not to be confused with TARDIS, but Tardif. He's a center. He got a goal and a what's plus / minus?
Oh, that's
your
plus. Yeah, that's your plus minus. So while you're on the ice, did you outscore? While you were on the ice, did you outscore your opponents? Basically.
Okay. So yeah, so he had a goal, and then he got a 1 in the plus and minus. And then American International. Let's see here. Josh Barnes got an assist. Jordan Biro got an assist. As for goals, we got John Lundy, who had a goal, and Danny Waite got a goal as well. So yeah, there you go.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. So one of our 2 hockey games in action tonight. We'll get the PWHL final here before we get out of here on the show tonight. So yeah, okay. So you were asking plus minus. We'll do a quick we will do a quick statistical breakdown then. Again, on the Neutral Zone, we try to make this show as much for all hockey fans, whether you are a hockey savant or a hockey newbie. We try to make this be a place that's for everybody. Plus minus, what they're talking about there in the plus minus statistic is, while you personally were on the ice, did your team score more goals than your opponent or give up more goals to your opponent? It's it's a statistic that it's more used for defensivemen than forwards, but they'll track it for everybody. Now, a power play goal does not count towards your plus category. A shorthanded goal absolutely counts towards your minus category, though.
Okay.
The thinking is, if you're on the power play, you should be converting that the other team is down a man. You're already getting help. We don't need to necessarily. It's more of a 5-on-5 statistic is what they're measuring.
Even strength mostly.
An even strength metric. Absolutely. Yeah. You're not interested in power play goals with it. If you give up if you're on ice and you give up a shorthanded goal, they'll count that in your minus column. Absolutely. But they don't give you a plus for scoring on the power play.
Okay. Gotcha.
For it. It's for even ice. And while they track it for forwards, it is more used for defensive men, because defensive men are on the ice more often and they're paired together, and so it's keeping track a lot of times then for, are you giving up lots of, are you on the ice when lots of goals are being given up, or are you being active in the offensive zone and helping with this, getting that primary or even a secondary assist, helpful in that regard. So that's what the plus minus statistic is. They track it for everybody. They don't They don't assign it to the goalie because, you're out there for everything. So
Right, yeah.
you've got your own stats. We don't need a plus minus for you, but the
Yeah.
forwards and they'll use it for the forwards, but especially for the defensive men. They'll keep track of it.
Well, good to know. Nice.
So there we go. Yes, there's our stat breakdown for the night.
The more you know.
There we go. There we go. All right, Zach. So get us caught up to date on the NCAA Frozen Four tournament scene.
Yes, sir. So NCAA Field is going to have 16 teams. Includes the winners of the winners of the 6 conference tournaments. That's the Atlantic, the Big Ten, the CCHA, Central Collegiate Hockey Association, ECAC, the Hockey East, and the NCHC, as well as 10 at-large teams based on the pairwise rankings. Conference tournament championship games are scheduled for March 22nd, with the NCAA tournament selections to be announced March 23rd. Regionals are held the 27th through 30th, with the Frozen Four on April 10th and 12th in St. Louis. Every NCAA tournament game, including the selection show, will be on ESPN networks and streamed on ESPN Plus. Here's where everything stands right now. This was as of February 11th, so like a week ago. Let's see here. All right. They're going to break it down in a couple different categories here. So based off of think like Joe Lunardi, okay, here's my locks, here's my probables, here's my work to do, here's the ones that are currently out, that kind of thing.
Sure.
So Frozen Four or bust. The head of the class this season, these teams are odds-on favorites to make it to St. Louis. Number 1, Boston College. They're 21-5-1 and 13-3-1 in the Hockey East. They had beat Northeastern 8-2, won at New Hampshire 4-2. The key games coming up, they just had this past weekend home and home versus UMass. I don't know how they did, but number 2, we got Michigan State, 22-5-1, 13-4-3 in the Big Ten. Last week's results, they lost to Michigan 2-1, but also beat Michigan 6-1. Upcoming, they've got February 21st to 22nd versus Penn State. And then the following week, they're at Notre Dame, the 28th and the 1st. Okay, so then lastly, you got number 3, Minnesota, 21-6-3 and 12-4-2 in the Big Ten. They did not play last week. I don't know why, per se. Maybe they had a week because we have a week off right now. So maybe it's like midterms or something. So maybe it could be the same thing for Minnesota. Key games coming up, 14th and 15th at Michigan and February 21st, 22nd at Ohio State or versus Ohio State. Next category is called Safe and Sound. These teams are all but assured a spot in the NCAA field as either a conference champ or an at-large spot. That includes number 4, Maine, number 5, Western Michigan, number 6, Boston University, number 7, Providence, number 8, Ohio State, number 9, UConn, number 10, Denver. In the field for now, UMass Lowell has slipped a few notches with 3 losses in 4 games, while Michigan and Arizona State both improved their standings this past weekend with splits against MSU and Denver, respectively. So number 11, UMass Lowell. Number 12, Michigan. They're 16-12-2 and then 10-9-1 in the Big Ten. Like I said, splits against Michigan State. They played at Minnesota this past weekend, and then they end the month at Ohio State with 2 games there. Arizona State, they're 17. Oh, good old Mullet Arena.
Mm-hmm.
You can take the Coyotes out of Mullet, but you can't take the Mullet out of Arizona. I don't know.
I wouldn't want to take a mullet off of a Coyote. That'd be too dangerous. So
right, yeah, but they're 17. Well, I mean, it's just nice to be able to still mention it, even though they're no longer there.
no.
17-10-1. They're 12-6-0 in the NCHC. Last week they lost to Denver 5-4, beat Denver 6-5 in a split. They split the series. Both games went to overtime. Next next couple games next weekend against Western Michigan. They got the series, and then they end the season with a series at Omaha. Your one bid league champs. It says it's looking more and more likely that we'll have 3 one-bid leagues: the ECAC, the CCHA, and the Atlantic. Quinnipiac, former champ from a couple years ago, and Minnesota State are on the fringes of the at-large bubble. But if they fail to win their conference tournaments, their losses along the way seem likely to dash their at-large hopes. Quinnipiac leads a tight ECAC race with the top 5 teams within 5 points of each other. Wow, that's going to be a nice drama going down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Minnesota State has a solid hold on first place in the CCHA. So we're penciling the Bobcats and Mavericks in the NCAA field for now. In the Atlantic, Sacred Heart, Holy Cross, and Bentley are within 1 point of each other in the league standings, although Holy Cross and Bentley have played 2 fewer games than Sacred Heart and are bunched together in the pairwise. We gave the nod to the Crusaders, who are 1 spot ahead of Bentley in the pairwise, but as with the other 3 leagues in this group, it'll all come down to the conference tournament. So, yeah, Quinnipiac, Minnesota State, Holy Cross. On the bubble, so assuming there are going to be 3 conference champions outside of the top 16 in the pairwise, teams below number 13 will be out of luck in terms of grabbing that large NCAA bid. But the standings in this range are very tight, with positions changing with almost every result.
I've got the current pairwise rankings up in front of me right now, and to kind of give you an idea, talking about how just big of a disparity there is right now in the rankings. So you've got Hockey East and the Big Ten take up all 4 of the top 4 spots, and looking in the top 10, 8 of the top 10 teams in the pairwise rankings are either Hockey East or Big Ten. You've got Western Michigan is at 5 and Denver is at 10 from the NCHC. Otherwise, it's all Big Ten. It's all Hockey East. So the
oh my god,
the Quinnipiac from the ECAC, Quinnipiac is at 14.
Okay,
that's the highest. You've got one of the other 3 conference, is ECAC, CCHA, and what's the 6th one? The AHA?
There's the Atlantic.
Yeah, the Atlantic Hockey.
They just call it the Atlantic from what this article says.
The highest one we're seeing from the Atlantic. Give me who do they mention in your article from the Atlantic? I want to make sure that I'm thinking the right schools here.
Yeah. Holy Cross, Sacred Heart.
Okay. Definitely. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Holy Cross is 27, and they're the top ranked team in the AHA right now.
Oh, well, yeah. This one says shoot. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. When the article was published, Quinnipiac was 15 in the pairwise. Minnesota State was 17 in pairwise. Holy Cross was 30 in pairwise. And then on the bubble, they had number 14 UMass, 14 UMass, number 16 Penn State, number 18 New Hampshire.
Yeah, I mean, and I would say right now, Penn State would absolutely be out because you've got to have somebody from the AHA in there, and they're below the top 16. And even right now, the CCHA, that the top one there is Minnesota State at 17. So you could be looking, Arizona State is absolutely on the fringe. Heck, I'd say Massachusetts is even on the fringe right now out of Hockey East.
You're talking UMass or UMass Lowell?
I'm talking Massachusetts itself, not UMass Lowell. I'm talking Massachusetts.
Okay. Gotcha.
Heck, you could make an argument that with a really crappy next couple of weeks, Michigan could be in trouble. Because Michigan's 12 right now.
Yeah.
So you're definitely the bottom of the bubble. There's definitely going to be some very good schools that are going to miss out because hey, you've got to have all 6 conferences represented. So So yeah, gonna be very, but oh yeah, Boston College, Sparty, Minnesota, Maine. There,
Yeah.
there's your top right there. There's your important teams right there. So
Well,
your
the article
big ones.
The article started out talking about the actual rivalry between BU and BC in the what they call the Bean Pot. Where'd it go? Here it is. I just lost it, of course. But they're saying that just because one won the rivalry doesn't necessarily mean they think they're going to go further in the tournament.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
They're thinking here. Oh, I just got back to it. Okay, so Terriers upset the top-ranked Eagles 4-1, rallying from a lackluster first period and early 1-0 deficit to convincingly outplay BC over the last two periods. They're both ranked in the top 10, but even in years when the Beanpot doesn't have national implications of that magnitude, the energy, desire, and hatred boil over for the schools and their fans. This year's final had a different twist as 9 of the players. Oh, okay, we were just talking Four Nations. Well, a couple weeks ago we were talking World Juniors. So 9 of the players, 6 from BC, 3 from BU, were teammates at IIHF World Juniors.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah.
Where they won the gold for USA in January. At least one member of the Eagles or Terriers scored or assisted on all but one of the 37 goals the U.S. scored in the tournament. How cool is that?
Yeah.
But any friendships were on hold Monday night.
Yeah, you put on that opposing sweater, and I'm sorry. I'm just gonna have to beat you. I'm sorry.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. Terriers won its first Beanpot since 2022. Well, Boston College's most recent championship was in 2016. But the BU's coach expressed similar sentiments. You battle with those guys, you get close to those guys, but I think we're all competitive. You want to win for your own school. Understandable.
Yep. Understandable. Yep. So as we get, we're about a month out from the field getting set. So we'll certainly be keeping a closer eye, and we'll be talking a little bit more college hockey here as we get closer to the Selection Sunday and the Frozen Four tournament. Well, let's take one more real fast break, and then when we come back, we will remind everybody that the NHL does indeed start back up on Saturday, and then we will make our predictions for the Four Nations tournament championship match on Thursday night. For those of you watching live across YouTube or Twitter, drop into the comments and give us your prediction for what you think is going to happen Thursday night. He is Zach. I am Adam. We are going to take a quick break on the Neutral Zone. We will be right back. Do not go anywhere.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS. The SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, This is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter. At any time, be happy to reply. Always willing to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam and Zach back with you here for just a couple of more minutes before we wrap things up on the show tonight. Couldn't leave the show without reminding everybody that, the NHL does, as much fun as this Four Nations tournament has been, and it has been a ton of fun, the NHL does start back up this weekend, Saturday, in fact, a very full and busy slate. Larry B commenting in the chat room, no, not the NHL season. No, not that. But there is a full slate of games this coming Saturday in the NHL. We'll be having, as I'm doing a quick count,
which is mostly like
not
what
quite,
we're normally used to on Tuesday nights.
I know.
13 games
Normally,
or whatever.
13. Yeah, it's 14 games. Not quite the entire league, but we've got 14 games on deck on Saturday, including some good matchups overall. The Wild and the Red Wings doing battle. The Capitals and the Penguins. That's always a fun rivalry.
Yeah.
And of course, Ovechkin watch going on there. My Blackhawks are playing the Blue Jackets. Okay, that's nice. The Hurricanes and the Maple Leafs. That should be an excellent one. Any particular games that stand out to you for our slate on Saturday as the NHL gets restarted here after basically 2 weeks off?
Sure, definitely got to go home with the home team. Detroit and Minnesota, probably Vancouver and Vegas, I think would be a good game. Winnipeg, St. Louis, maybe more.
Oh, I think we lost Zach again. We had a little bit of a rough connection for Zach tonight. I do apologize for that. There we go. All right, there we go. You back? Oh, we're Zach's coming in and out. What as we're waiting for Zach to get reestablished and reconnected here. One thing I am curious about with the NHL season restarting, one thing I am curious to see is how, if at all, the NHL teams are affected by this 2-week layoff with the Four Nations tournament. Somebody like Connor Hellebuck, he's obviously going to be starting in net Thursday night for Team USA in the Four Nations championship. So does he play on Saturday in St. Louis, or do the Jets give him the night off because he's obviously been playing while the rest of the team has been on break? Do they do things like that, or do you think teams will basically dive in like nothing has happened?
I think they'd give him the option that, if he's, depending on how he feels, if he feels like he's ready to go and wants to, just get right back up at it and go for it. Otherwise, maybe he'd ask him, and okay, I could use a break. Just give me one game.
Yeah, looking at Winnipeg's schedule in particular, as they're trying to make for themselves a little bit of a statement run here. They don't have a back-to-back until the middle of next week. They play Saturday, but then they play Saturday, then Monday, and then next week, Wednesday and Thursday, they'll have back-to-back. So they have 4 more games yet this month. So I'd imagine Connor misses it, will be the backup in at least one of those games, if not two of those, just to try to make up for the fact that he has been playing in the Four Nations tournament. Other teams like my Blackhawks that basically didn't have any representation in the Four Nations tournament. One Teuvo Teravainen for Finland, but he played in two of the games, and then he was a healthy scratch for the game against Canada yesterday. So he's had some time off. The Blackhawks will just jump right back in, I imagine, will be how that goes. So,
gotcha.
Well, let's put a bow on this whole thing. What do you think is going to happen Thursday night, Zach? Give us your predictions. Give us your prediction on what happens in the game, and then give us a score. Who do you see winning this thing?
I think it's another close spot game. But I'm gonna go US 3-2. No, 4-3. 4-3 this time. Yeah. What about you?
I like that prediction. I think that much like the game in Montreal this past weekend, I think Canada will get off to a fast start. I think the Canadian team is going to come in very motivated to avenge that loss on Saturday. That was the first time, I think, one of the first times Sidney Crosby had ever lost while playing for Team Canada in an international. Wow. I mean, it had been a long time since he had lost playing for Team Canada. So they're going to definitely come out motivated. I think Canada comes out with a fast start, but I'm with you. I like Team USA to win it. I even like that score. I like that 4-3 score overall. Okay. I'm gonna put it in overtime. Team USA 4, Team Canada 3 in overtime, and we'll rock out to that free bird, baby. Let Leonard Skinner loose on Thursday night.
Right? Yeah. Hey, you want to guess how much tickets are going for?
How much?
Give me a number. What do you think?
200.
More.
1,000.
Less.
Okay, all right. We haven't gone that crazy. 800.
Very close. 776.
Woo! 800 bucks to get into the building Thursday night.
That's even more proof that the U.S. is going to win because it's 1776, but 776.
There you go. Always thinking. Always thinking. And on that note, huge shout out and thank you to everybody for tuning in tonight. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Once again, Planet Jerky, premium brisket beef jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Go to planetjerky.net to place your orders. Thank you also to Vital Apparel, the brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Go to vitalapparel.com, use promo code IESR and checkout to get 15% off of your order. Thank you to Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Stealing the Beat. Go to IESportsradio.com/Seal the Deal Wax Seals to place your order there. Thank you also to Get Raw Nutrition. Go to GetRawNutrition.com and use promo code IESR there and check out for 10% off of your order there. Thank you to Larry B, the star and overlord of all things IE Sports Radio. Thank you for all the hard work you do behind me. It does not go unnoticed, nor is it unappreciated. Thank you to everybody who hung out in the chat room with us tonight. Larry B, Ralph Calise, Marcus Great, Rodriguez. Thank you, gentlemen, for all hanging out in the chat room with us tonight. Thank you to each of the 205 people that tuned in and watched the show live over YouTube and Twitter. We appreciate your support. And thank you to everybody that's listening to this show as a podcast later on in the week, whether it is on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Deezer, wherever you podcast. Thank you for tuning in as well. Be sure to check out the supporters Supporters Club if you're looking for a way to show your love for the show. Also, share it with your friends. That also means so much to us. For Zach, I'm Adam. Together we are the Neutral Zone. Every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock in the week. Next week, we will be recapping the championship and get the NHL season restarted. Until then, we'll see you next week. Have a great week, everybody. Bye for now.